Hi, I'm Claudia. Today we're going to be making beef patties. We're going to make them from scratch, so we'll do our pastry first, then we'll do a filling, and then we will put everything together. What we're going to need for today is 450 grams of plain flour, 150 grams of grated butter, or you can also just cut it into small cubes, around 140-150 milliliters of cold water, and then to flavor our pastry we have half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of curry, and half a teaspoon of turmeric, which will give it a very lovely yellow color. For the filling, like I always say, you can fill them up with whatever you want, but we are going to use 200 grams of minced beef, some onions, garlic and ginger, sweet corn, carrot, chopped tomatoes, a little bit of chopped chili, and then some breadcrumbs to make sure that the mixture isn't too wet. Great, let's start with the pastry. We've got our flour in a big bowl. We're going to add all our flavors, salt, curry, and turmeric. Make sure we mix it through properly. Next, we're going to add our butter and rub it through the flour with our hands. We'll make a well in the middle. We just have to add the water and bring it all together. If it's too dry, you need to add a bit more water. If it's too wet, then you'll have to add a little bit more flour. From here, we can go onto the worktop. Just get it all nicely together. And now we're just going to put it in the fridge for half an hour to let it rest. Great, so now we've put our pastry in the fridge, and while it's resting there for half an hour, we're going to prepare the filling. We've got a pan, olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. Put this onto medium-high. And at the same time, I'm also going to start preheating the oven to 200 degrees on fan. By the onions and the ginger and garlic, and we want to cook it until they are soft and transparent. Okay, now that we've been cooking the onions, garlic and ginger for about 5 to 7 minutes, we're going to add the chili, the mincemeat. We're using minced beef, but you can use anything. We're going to add a little bit of salt. So here we're now going to add the tomatoes and the grated carrots. Remember, you can use any veggies you want. Okay, we'll add the sweet corn. So you can see there's like a little sauce forming from the juices of the meat, the vegetables, a bit of the oil. If you wanted it a bit of a wetter mix, you can add a little bit of water, and then we'll add the breadcrumbs to hold it all together. Or you could leave it like this and add the breadcrumbs to this for a bit of a drier mix. Okay, so we're going to switch this off. Add our breadcrumbs through the mix and let it rest and cool. Excellent. So we've got our pastry out of the fridge. Cut it into 8 pieces. 2 for now. Bit of flour on the surface. So we're now going to roll it out into sort of a circle if we can. We can also cut it out. We want it to be about 2 millimeters thick. So not too thick, not too thin. Perfect. We're going to sort of cut a circle out of this. You can do it like this, manually, Or if you have a cutter, that's more or less the right size, that would work too. Here we go. Got a bowl with a bit of water. You can either use a finger to put a bit of water on the sides, on the edges, or we'll use a little pastry brush. Bit of the pastry filling in the middle. It smells amazing. Gone a bit overboard here maybe, but it's okay. And now we fold over the top. And a very nice and simple way to do it is to use a fork and squash it together. That gives you the very typical shape. There we go. And the other thing we're going to do is a little hole here so the steam can go out when it starts cooking in the oven. You can brush it with a bit of egg or just a bit of milk or a bit of water, that's fine. And this is our first patty. Onto the baking tray. So here we've got our patties ready to go in the oven at 200 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. So we've taken them out of the oven. They've been there for about 17 minutes, just over 15. Here they are, looking amazing. We are going to pick this one up. They're quite hot. And I'm going to show you very nice flaky pastry. Look at this, wow, and nice and juicy.